For the next scene, we find ourselves at Sabu's humble dwelling. Both Isonojo and Kotoura are being sheltered here, but the evil samurai Otori Sagaemon is still after Kotoura, and their situation is precarious. Here, a couple of men have come to perform a lion dance as part of the summer festivities. The lion dancers proved to be none other than the dastardly pair working for Sagaemon, Gon and Slimy Hachi. How charming those lion dancers were. Very interesting indeed. And that girl that was here before was quite lovely, wasn't she? However beautiful, he shouldn't be praising her. The couple continued to tiff. Though the son of a samurai, Isonojo was apprenticed to a merchant whose daughter fell in love with him. That girl has just left, and it is she to whom Kotoura takes exception. In fact, Isonojo had to leave the merchants abruptly after committing a foolish crime. Her jealousy is getting the better of her. There is no need for such suspicion. It's not her jealousy that's at fault, but rather his inconstant heart. Sabu's wife is called Otsugi. She asks Kotoura not to go on so. There's no call for jealousy of the daughter of Isonojo's former master, and anyway, Sabu is now escorting her home. Otsugi may well say that, but she's still angry with Danshichi for allowing Isonojo to go to an employer with a young daughter. What's this talk against Danshichi? He was the one who asked Sabu to look after them here, so they are much in his debt. This is not about him. Isonojo is trying to change the subject. Anyway, everyone's attracted by the thought of romance. What a horrid thing to say. Sabu announces his return. Must have been so hot. Quickly, come in and rest a while. While he was out, did she prepare the festival food? As requested, she's made grilled horse mackerel and octopus in vinegar. It's not a good idea to let Isonojo and Kotoura stay so close to the door. If people catch sight of them, there could be trouble. Now do they see? She's being scolded. Better make up quickly and go inside. Indeed, Kotoura does want some words with Isonojo in private. Stop that. Sabu is watching. Really, such youngsters can be so foolish. Just time for a nap. Wife, bring a pillow. The narrator describes a woman of 26 or 27 approaching with an umbrella. The woman Otatsu is played by Nakamura Kantaro. She'd like to inquire if this is the house of the boatman Sabu who ferries goods down the river. It is indeed. Who is calling? Otsugi is shocked at the woman's unexpected appearance. There's a beautiful woman come to see him. He's no idea what she's saying. Why shouldn't a young woman come calling on him? She makes it sound like it's odd. Who is it? Tokube's wife. Why, it's Tokube's wife, Otatsu. Is that so? Then she must apologize. She must come and sit here. Isn't it so hot these days? Otsugi offers some tobacco. She mustn't go to any trouble. She met Sabu at Danshichi's house, but this is the first time she has met her. She is Otatsu, Tokube's wife from Tamashima. It's a pleasure. And she is Sabu's wife, Otsugi. Likewise, a pleasure. It's good of her to come in this heat. Where should she begin? For some minor offense, her husband Tokube had to leave Izumi province, and, thanks to their help, he is now in Osaka. He's always been a hot-tempered sort, the first to speak up in a quarrel and never shy of a sword fight. He must have been a great nuisance, and she apologizes on his behalf. Nothing to apologize for. As for hot tempers, her husband was just the same. Until 4 or 5 years ago, he loved an argument and was always calling men outside on some silly point of honor. He argued every morning and night. But he's changed. Having taken to religion now, he won't even kill a fly, and he's never without those prayer beads. Whenever he feels angry, he just says a quick prayer. That's wonderful. It's just as his wife says. Did Otatsu say she was going back to her home province? Tokubei too? That is so. But not everything goes as she would wish. She asks them to listen. Pardoned for the minor offense he committed, Otatsu went to meet him, but despite not having set eyes on his wife for so long, he didn't seem happy at all. Right away he said, "Otatsu, I'll follow after you in 4 or 5 days. You return to Tamashima first." So Otatsu had no choice but to start back ahead of him. The narrator tells us that on hearing this, Sabu's wife has an idea. Creating a chance to speak, she decides to offer some tea. It's a bit forward of her as they've only just met, but she has a special favor to ask of her. Would that be all right? Even if she does come from provincial Tamashima, she is Tokubei's wife. He's never one to back away from a request, and she's just the same. Otsugi can ask whatever she pleases. She's glad to hear it, and thanks her in advance. Otatsu must have heard it from Tokubei already, but there's a young man named Isonojo, who's the son of Tamashima Hyodayu, an important man. For certain reasons, Isonojo had to work for a townsman, and out of youthful folly, he killed someone. They are sheltering him, but it's awkward to keep him here in Osaka. Very well then. Otatsu will look after him. She agrees to do that. As Tokubei's wife, she'll not back down from any task. And she herself is related to Hyodayu. They can leave Isonojo in her care. What happy news! She'll go fetch him right away. Not so fast. A woman can really be too clever for her own good. If they wanted a favor, he would have asked for it. If they hand Isonojo over to Otatsu, then he loses honor as a man. But it's for his benefit. Will she see his pride wounded? Step back at once. Scolded, she retreats uneasily. Hearing his words, Tokubei's wife is quick to retort. No one is forcing her to do anything. So why would it be dishonorable for him if she took care of Isonojo? Or perhaps he believes a woman would be useless in a crisis. Otatsu is not the sort to be ridiculed. Now that she's been asked to take care of Isonojo, unless she does so for at least 3 days, she will lose honor as a woman. And Tokubei will be slighted as well. It would be dishonorable for them both. Dishonorable, she says. Sabu is not to humiliate them in this way. With her sharp tongue, the lady's words, we're told, are stinging as hot pepper. No matter what she says, he will lose honor if they give Isonojo to her. Let him tell his reasons then. It would be dishonorable because... her face is too beautiful. Listen. She may think that he, Sabu, speaks too freely in his old age, but there is no way he will leave that young man in the care of so young a wife. Of course, he's not saying that she, of all people, would do anything wrong. But the unexpected can always happen. She's not to get angry. If her face were crooked, or her cheeks hollow and sunken, that would be another matter. Neither Tokubei nor anyone else would have doubts. By his holy prayer beads, he swears he'd like to give Isonojo to her, but as it is, it just wouldn't look right. Hearing his reasons, Otatsu is at a loss for words and merely hangs her head in silence. Suddenly, a thought occurs. She goes over to the brazier to get a hot iron bar. Now the unexpected has happened. With this wound on her face, does he still think her too beautiful? Splendid. Now Isonojo can indeed go with her. As far as China if she wants. Then her honor is upheld too. Kokubei and she are loyal to Isonojo's father, so not to take care of him would have shamed them both. But her face, the face she was born with, she has now scarred for life. She begs Sabu understand the depth of her loyalty. Listening to her words, Otsugi can only weep, and Sabu too must wipe away his tears. Now it's settled. Otsugi can hand over Isonojo to Otatsu, and they can prepare to leave for Tamashima. Very well. If her wound is painful, Otsugi has some ointment for her. But she did this to herself. She could hardly accept. In the back room, they can talk and listen in comfort. She will see him later. Tokube is a lucky man to have a wife like that. She should have been born a man. Perhaps she did have what a man's got, but they fell off. Time to get back to his prayers. Just then we hear the two thugs burst in, good-for-nothing Gon and slimy Hachi. What's their business? He can't leave his prayer beads at the moment, but there's a casket of sake there, so they're welcome to have a cup. They want something else from him. They've come for the flower. Flower? Have they come with the festival float they want to decorate? Spotted a pretty little flower at his shop front just now. A certain samurai's asked them to get it for him. So they haven't mended their ways. That samurai would be Otori Sagaemon, no doubt. Something like that. Well, go back and tell him Kotoura's already got a fine young man by the name of Isonojo. Mustn't treat them as children. What children? All he can see from here is a couple of pesky locusts. Calling them locusts, eh? Well, if that's what they are, they'll start jumping on him. Otsugi has heard they're enough to try one's patience. It's hard to put up with. If she could just pass his hemp kimono. The afterlife he's prayed for these 5 or 6 years, he abandons now. He'll tear them apart. If ever there were a time to do it, it's now. That's interesting talk. Then he can cut them if he dares. He meant he's going to tear apart his string of beads. Now he's his old self again. No need for swords in their case. Sabu resolves to settle the matter himself at Sagaemon's place. Wife, his sword. But he just said he didn't need it. Not for these two, but for when he gets to Sagaemon's. He'll be off then. These ruffians can disappear with him. Make sure they don't get the better of him. He's his old self again, the way he twisted those men's arms and dragged them along. Otsugi shouts out, Omodakaya, praising the actor Ichikawa Enya. Why, she's forgotten her slippers. Are they ready to leave? Indeed, they'll be on their way. And he leaves Kotora in Otsugi's care. By all means, there is nothing to worry about. He goes away in body, but his heart, he'll leave behind. Otatsu understands, just leave everything to her. He mustn't let anyone see him. He's to hide his face with the umbrella. She must take good care of Kotora. Now she's scarred her face. Will Tokubei still love her? What's Otsugi saying? What he loves about her isn't this. It's this. She can outdo any man, that Otatsu. They can relax now that Isonojo's in her care. But their troubles are not quite over yet. Along comes the cunning Mikawaya Giheiji, Danshichi's father-in-law. Sabu's wife, is it? Been a while, but she hasn't changed. Seems unusually fine himself. At his age, he's at the beck and call of his children. Danshichi sent him to pick up Kotoura. Said some thugs have been after her, so she'll be safer at his place for 4 or 5 days. He's come with a palanquin for her. Much obliged to Otsugi for all she's done. No need to thank them. Indeed, some ruffians did turn up. Sabu's dragged them off to have it out with their boss. She'll just go fetch her. Danshi has just sent Giheiji with a palanquin to pick her up. Nothing to worry about. Then she must go with Giheiji? Just for 2 or 3 days. How relieved she's feeling. Isonojo has been sent to Bichu, and Kotoura has gone to Danshichi's house. She'll just light a candle at the altar. The narrator describes the sound of distant voices coming from the direction of the Sumiyoshi shrine. They're back with her husband. Danshichi and Tokubei here too, are they? How did it go? They didn't get the better of Sabu, did they? Get the better of him? Hear that, Tokubei? It was just like old times. No worries about him. That's happy news, and they can celebrate with a drink of sake. They've got to tell Tokubei about his wife and set Danshichi's mind at rest too. Better go inside. The two of them should go ahead. He just wants a word with Otsugi first. Thanks to his and Tokubei's help, her husband beat that Sagaemon. She couldn't be happier. Sabu has years in him yet. The festival looks good this year. It'll be lively for sure. He just wanted to know how Isonojo was doing. With all the fuss lately, they were quite anxious about him. But luckily, Tokubei's wife came by, and she's taking him home with her. Gone with Otatsu. That's good. And Kotora? What's he saying? He himself sent someone with a palanquin to pick her up. Someone with a palanquin from his house? Come, it's really too hot to tease. She's not joking. His father-in-law Giheiji turned up with a palanquin, saying he'd been told to come take the girl away for 2 or 3 days. His own father-in-law Giheiji came to get Kotoura. She's sure? Which way did the palanquin go? Towards the south. He means he didn't know about it? Leave that for later. Step aside, no time for talk now. Medicine in his tobacco pouch. Take it. And with that, we're told, off he dashes towards Nagamachi. background, we hear happy festival music. Part of every summer festival is the exciting drums and gongs. It is the night before the Kozu Shrine Festival, and already a bustling crowd has gathered in the distance. The scene is a field off a dark back street of Nagamachi. Danshichi's father-in-law, Giheiji, enters with the palanquin bearing Kotoura. Hot on his heels is Danshichi himself. Danshichi shouts for the old man to wait, but he tells the palanquin bearers to ignore him. Up to no good again. What does he want the girl for? He'll probably sell her for cash, won't he? A rotten thing to do. Just the other day he sold a fake incense burner for 50 gold pieces to a dealer in Uchihonmachi. Very well. He knows it's wrong to say it. He's told him over and over, but Giheiji never changes. He's a low-life villain. What's that he said? A low life? A low life? He's just been waiting for Danshichi to turn on him like that. Giheiji is played by Kataoka Ichizo. Palanquin bearers, hold on a while. He's something to say to this wretch here. These past 6 years, his daughter's been Danshichi's plaything, but has he received anything for it? Danshichi was nothing more than a homeless vagrant, living from hand to mouth like a common beggar. It was Giheiji who gave him a leg up and made him a fishmonger in Sakai. But forgetting all gratitude, Danshichi went and got his daughter pregnant, and she gave birth to that brat of theirs, Ichimatsu. He got a pittance from them every month and so closed his eyes to it all. But then Danshichi got into a fight and landed in jail. And who does he think had to look after them these last 100 days? He's much to thank him for and has never forgotten that debt. Don't even speak. He went to that dealer in Uchihonmachi to make ends meet for the family. Danshichi is always getting in his way. Giheiji misunderstood his intentions. He's got him wrong. He's to keep his mouth shut. Today, he's handing Kotoura over to Sagaemon, who's mad for her. He stands to earn plenty from the deal. If he does that, Danshichi will lose honor as a man. A man's honor? What man is he talking about? He's a fine one, isn't he? A man like him, dishonored. Enough of that drivel. Though kicked like a dog, we're told, a father-in-law is still a parent. Danshichi can do nothing but clench his teeth and endure. He did wrong and begs for forgiveness. He shouldn't have said what he said, and he won't do it again. He was wrong. Don't get angry. In this one case only, he begs not to lose face. They are father and son after all, and a father and son shouldn't bear grudges. He's begging. From now on, he promises not to interfere in his money-making schemes. He'll keep out of it. An idea occurs to Danshichi. He picks up stones in an attempt to pass them off as gold coins. He plain forgot to say, he has some great friends. When he was in that jail, they all got together and gave him some money to start over with. He's got that money. 30 gold pieces. Right here. He'll give all 30 pieces to Giheiji if only he'll send the palanquin back. He wants to have honor as a man. He begs him to have mercy. To take pity. Danshichi is described tugging at his father-in-law's sleeves as he begs on bended knee. Hearing of the 30 gold pieces, Giheiji's manner softens. His friends got together some cash for him, eh? 30 in gold. Sagaemon was going to pay 100 gold pieces for delivering Kotoura, and the offer is still dangling there. But then, he is his daughter's husband after all. Since they're related, he'll send the palanquin back for 30. He's got the money on him now. Right then, the palanquin bearers can take her back. Get going, hurry. Sent them back like he said. Must be pleased now. He couldn't be happier. Is that so? Well, if he's happy, it's time to make him happy too. He'll be a dutiful son and make him pleased. Glad to hear it. Now, if he's going to please him... Mighty hot, isn't it? Scorching. Did he hear? Giheiji sent the palanquin back, so Danshichi must be pleased. Happier than he can say. Is that so? Good. Now, if he's happy, he'll be a dutiful son and Giheiji will be pleased. In that case, the money... It's hot. He's a bad memory for one so young. It's what they spoke about. What did they speak about? That. You know. The 30 gold pieces. Hand them over, quick. 30 pieces. He doesn't have them. What's that? He doesn't have them. Palanquin, come back. No, keep going. So he's tricked him, has he? Deceived his own father-in-law. What's this? Leather soles? He has some pretty fancy footwear, hasn't he? He has to run around all day in nothing but a cheap pair of straw sandals, but Danshichi's got leather. And he's scared of losing face? What face? This one? This face? It's painful. Painful. Mustn't be rough. Soon as they get home, he'll give him the money. It's painful. Soon as they get home, he'll get the money. He's drawn blood. Yes, he cut him. He cut him. And what's he going to do about it? How dare he glare at his father-in-law like that? Keep staring like that and his eyes will get stuck. Reaching for his sword, eh? Cut his own father-in-law down, will he? Go ahead and cut. It's his dearest wish to reach his age and be cut down by his own son. Well, he can go right ahead. Where will he start? Here? Here? Shove his own parent, will he? But he fell down himself. He pushed him. It's painful. If that's what he wants, then go right ahead. That's dangerous. He might get hurt. He is his father. Cut a father down, and he'll be drawn and quartered. That's the law. So go right ahead. Why would he want to harm him? What would they do if he got hurt? He is cut. The murderer. What's he saying? He's no murderer. He mustn't joke. It's not funny. Other folks might hear, and then there will be trouble.
初めから悪い悪いって謝らへんで。悪い。なんで
Murderer. Now Giheiji leaves him no choice. Seeing that his wicked father-in-law will not stop shouting, Danshiji is forced to silence the old man. Father, forgive. What we're about to see is one of Kabuki's most famous and gruesome death scenes. The beautiful poses the actors strike are called mie. townsmen, oblivious to the recent ghastly events, suddenly come by with a portable shrine as part of the summer festivities. Bad he may have been, but a father-in-law is still a parent. Father, forgive me. This translation for the Summer Festival was written and narrated by Paul Griffith.